So let's talk about the derivatives of sine and cosine and then what their antiderivatives might be. So remember that the derivative of sine is just cosine, and the derivative of cosine is negative sine. What we want to discuss today is what is the the indefinite integral of cosine and sine. So remember, we want these functions to be, so the antiderivative of cosine is going to be a function whose derivative is cosine. So what function is that? This is telling us exactly what that is. It is sine of x. But we do plus c. And then over here, it's slightly different. The antiderivative of sine isn't just cosine, because taking the derivative of cosine changes from plus to minus, and so we have to do the same thing here. So the antiderivative of cosine is sine from reversing this, and the antiderivative of sine is negative cosine, because when we reverse this, we also have to move the negative. Let's look at another example. Let's take the integral of cosine of 3x, the indefinite integral. Okay. So think about what this should be. So it's going to be sine's going to be involved. Let's guess maybe that it's going to be sine 3x. And that's going to get us most of the way there. But then let's check by taking the derivative of sine 3x. Yeah, so that's going to be what? Cosine of 3x, and then we have to multiply using the chain rule by this function in here. So multiplied by the derivative of 3x, which is 3. And so that's not quite right. Because what I wanted is just cosine 3x, not 3 cosine 3x. And again, we're going to use the same thing we did with the power rule. The trick to fixing this is we really want a multiple out here that will cancel with the 3, so we really want this to be 1/3. And let's just do one more example. Let's do sine 5x, just to drive this point home. So what's going to happen here? So we might guess it's exactly like what's happening up here. It should be negative cosine 5x. Plus c, but if we think about what's going to happen when I take the derivative of this, it's going to be, well, let's do it. Let's just check and then fix it. So we'll take the derivative of negative cosine 5x. So what is that? That is negative comes out, and then I get negative sine of 5x, and then times 5, right? And so this is really 5 times sine of 5x. So one thing you can notice here is that the negatives are canceling like we want them to leave us with a positive, but we have this 5 out front. We deal with it the same way. It's a multiple of 5, so what we need is a multiple of 1/5, and that will cancel the 1/5.